Hi, everybody. It's Doc's Daily. We're back with Wednesday show. And you know it's Wednesday because we have in Raphael with the other two amigos. So it's three amigos. Has Raphael on Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, we have Robert Ferrigno. So today we have the source. This is where we're going to be talking tons of NBA, college basketball, dabble a little real quick at the end in NHL. Nick, I have a little play in the NHL. So before we get to it, do a little housekeeping. Don't forget that free $60. Go to docsports.com/free60. That will get you $60 for free for all new customers. No obligations. You don't have to go to your credit card number. All you got to do is sign up for an account. You give us the email, your name, such, and then you click the follow. Then once you get in, you can use that however you want. Most people use it. There's $30, get you on any individual capper for any one sport. So if you like, say, my plays, Raphael, or one of the Nick or Griffin, you can get that $30, say the NBA, college basketball, NHL. And then if you want to get two sports, of course, you could do $30 for each sport. So make sure you take advantage of it, free 60. Of course, if you're not a new customer, get in on the grid and get in today's plays. I do have a small play today in a 5-unit. Nick, how did yesterday go for you? And what do you have as far as top plays? Anything for today?
Yeah, I do. In the NBA, got a premium selection 7-unit. Last night, we hit our 5-unit premium play. We're coming right back, ladies and gentlemen, in the NBA. That play goes off tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then lower volume on the college basketball side of things. Just got one play, 4-unit on that side, but nothing in the NHL as we only have 3 games. So I'll make sure to cover a couple of games here for you guys later on in the show, Craig.
Griffin, this is like a little birdie in my ear said, like, tweet, tweet, tweet. Griffin's going to have maybe a play of the year or 7 or 8 unit play tomorrow, but not much today. Is that true?
That is true, Craig. Yesterday, I ended up going 2-0 in college hoops. I did drop my NHL selection. I am 5-1 in my last 6 NHL selections, and I'm hitting, I want to say 66% in my last 46 cards across NBA. I did pass today because, again, I am collecting profits right now and getting ready to unload the tank. I thought I had my play today. I thought I did. Lines came out. It was not in my favor whatsoever. So I decided, you know what, Craig, I'm going to pass today. So with that being said, tomorrow, NBA, I am circling one up. If I can find that line, I'm going to pound one. But if not, I'm going to play very small again, probably a 3-play card. But today, low volume across all sports, Craig.
All right. As you see, let me switch it back here. Sorry, we don't have our assistance producer today. I have a new cover because last night my 7-unit play in the NHL, this phone went across the room and broke. So luckily the protector protected. I just had to buy a new, $100 protector. I had the Minnesota Wild. They're up 2-0 in the first and don't score again. So that was an absolute brutal. And even worse that I really liked the Blue Jackets yesterday. Plus the 1.5 we gave it out. They went outright. So good for us. Everybody here got the free play yesterday, but unfortunately, if I would have just switched them, we would have kept that amazing run in the NHL. Raphael, what do we have for today? Anything that you like on today's card?
You're a bounce back because we had a shit show yesterday. Complete. I don't care if this is a PG show or the kids are watching it because mom is watching All My Children. It was a shit show yesterday, so we're gonna do a bounce back on that one. So hopefully we have a premium play in the NBA. Nothing too big and stuff. That we have a couple 3 games circled in college hoops tomorrow that could be potential stuff like that. Made my numbers before I jumped on, so now I'm just waiting for the evil books to open up their numbers. So it's gonna be very interesting. It's a very interesting card in the NBA. I agree with Griffin. 6 out of the 9 games are 9 points or higher in the NBA, and this is what we're gonna see now all the way to the playoffs. We're gonna see some horrible spreads.
Yeah, I mean, this is a time of year where you got to take some shots. You got to take some of these big underdogs because as we've seen last night, there's some of these just come to play. And so we'll talk about those. But don't forget, like and subscribe, and make sure you get in on all the plays that we got going on every day here at our Free Picks, Doc's Free Picks channel. What will that get you? Tons of plays, NBA, college basketball. You get this show. You got the dirty 360. Is that what it is, guys? 630. 630. With these other two amigos that they do most days. So all kinds of stuff. And it's all for free. All you got to do is like and subscribe here at YouTube. Okay, let's go to the NBA today. And let's kick it off with Griffin, you kick us off today. What do you like in the NBA here as free play?
I got you, Craig. And I'm rolling into this. We got Toronto rolling into Indiana to play the Pacers. The Pacers are currently laying 10.5 points in this game with a total sitting at 233.5. Toronto's coming off back-to-back games here. They were just home last night. They lost to Boston by 10 points. So now they have to fly into Indiana in tonight's matchup to play the Pacers. Pacers right now are 7th in pace of play and 9th in offensive points per game. Toronto has to be completely worn out after dealing with that Boston Celtics team last night. Current line sitting at 10.5 points, Craig. I am laying the 10.5 points here with the Pacers, as I think the Toronto Raptors are going to be absolutely exhausted after that wear down matchup last night. Give me the Pacers here. Lay the points in this one, Craig.
I think this line opened at 9.5, and I even see some 11s out there. So there's a lot of money coming in on the Pacers. The Pacers did lose last time out against Denver, but that was in a back-to-back spot. So it's an interesting kind of situation where you have a team in a back-to-back versus a rest team off of their only defeat, actually, since the All-Star break. Nick, why don't you go next with our NBA free play?
Yeah, we got the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the New York Knicks here. Knicks are -10 in this matchup. The total sitting at 145.5 here. The 76ers are on a 8-game losing streak here. In their last 10 games, they're 1-9 right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks coming back home tonight here, as this game is played in New York, and they're on a 2-game losing streak. Well, this Knicks team's going to bounce back here tonight because the 76ers just cannot find a win to save their lives. I keep bashing this team, but without Joel Embiid, and by the way, he's not retiring. He's just out. I said that yesterday, but
false news.
They don't have Joel Embiid. It's just not looking good for this 76ers team. I think the New York Knicks absolutely beat down the 76ers here at home. I'm taking the Knicks -10 here over the Philadelphia 76ers, Craig.
My play in my premium play, I don't have a huge play in the NBA tonight, is actually on a team on a team total here. So make sure you go check that out at the grid. But I will say, when you look at this Knicks team, they beat up on the bad teams, and they've struggled. Like the last 2 games they lost, well, guess what? They played the 2 of the top 3 teams in the league, or maybe the top 2 teams in the league, depending on how you rank them. But the Cavs and the Celtics, obviously these 2 teams just have their number, and the best teams have their number. But this is not a good the Sixers should tank right now, because they're like, even if they could fight in and get into like the Final Four, do you think Joel Embiid's going to be able to stay healthy through the playoffs? No. So he's going to probably be out the rest of the year. So it's like, why play? All right, let's switch it up here. Raphael, you go next. We'll put you on the main screen. What do you like as a free play here today in the NBA?
Yeah, I'll jump back on that Knicks one. Catch you slipping is correct on that. Cat might not play tonight for the Knicks. He's been questionable all day, so keep an eye out for that one. So that might be something you might want to look at. And don't forget, these numbers now in the NBA, I noticed that today, books lowered their limits on a lot of these garbage games. So line movement might be moving a little bit different than we've seen in years and days past, just because books are limiting their limits, like this junky game, Toronto and Indiana. Who really wants to watch that besides Griffin? So keep an eye out
Thanks,
for that one for line movement. But my first one, I'm going with the Rockets' first quarter. I catch yesterday of the first quarter of the Lakers game, because everyone was watching the Lakers game. Probably missed some really good college basketball games because they're too busy watching Lakers games. I like this Rockets team laying the 3.5. Even money on the first quarter in this one, 3.5. Playing against the Spurs, who last night lost to the Pelicans. Let me repeat myself. The Spurs last night lost to the Pelicans. Us 4 could probably beat the Pelicans the way they've been playing. Both teams played last night. The Spurs lost. Houston won. I just don't like this team right now of the Spurs coming up back-to-back days. Last time these two played in Houston Rockets won 127-100 and was up by 10 points in the first quarter. So I'll lay the first quarter, getting even money with the Rockets at -3.5.
They didn't lose just once to the Pelicans. They lost 2 games in a row.
I didn't want to bash the Spurs that much.
We talked about it yesterday. I said the Pelicans have the best talent with the worst production the last decade. I mean, they have Hall of Fame. They have a Hall of Famer pretty much on every team. Maybe not this, because Zion hasn't developed into that. But I mean, you had Brandon Ingram, max player. You have Zion, right, max player. Like Murray, obviously, is out for the year. But I mean, they have good players. They just haven't put it together in the win and loss column. And it seems like players are just begging to get out of there as soon as they get there, which is just crazy if you're a Pelicans fan. But I do like Houston for the game as well. I just think, like you said, the Spurs team's already banged up. the news of the Popovich being out for the season, because it sounded like they were aiming that he would come back about now or in March. Him not coming back is I think kind of had a little effect on the team where it's kind of like, oh crap, this was going to give us a little boost and we don't have that. He needs another team sign. Every player that goes to the Pelicans, this is the case. They just need to go to a different team. I don't understand. All right, free play for you tonight. I'm going back to the well a little bit. I had the Brooklyn Nets against Washington. What was it? 2 days ago.
Yeah,
as my top play, and they the first time, and this is unbelievable stat. Washington had allowed every team until last game to score 100-plus points. That was the first game they held a team under 100 points. They were the last team in the NBA to do that this season. So it tells you about this Washington defense. I think Portland, we all were on them. They had that amazing run of about 10 or 11, 12 games where they not only were covering spreads, they were winning as 6, 7, 8, 9-point underdogs outright. It kind of like the numbers have come down a little on them, and they kind of cooled off. They were just shooting the ball really well, and they were the top team in that run defensively. I think they're going to get back to their defensive ways, and I like I'm going to lay the points with Portland. I see it at 5, 5.5. Shop it around. That one's definitely available at different books at a lower number, so make sure you shop around. But I think Portland can win this double digits because the Wizards haven't put many good streaks. I mean, they put a lot of bad streaks together this year. They are the Detroit Pistons of last year, where it's like, yeah, they've been really, really bad. So I'm going to take Portland minus the points. And I think this one could get out of hand because Portland, when they're good, they're really, really good. And I think the Wizards are just not very good right now. So let's switch up a little bit. Let's go to college hoops because I think there's some interesting games in college hoops here. And I want to get your opinion first, Raphael. What do you like here? And then we might circle back, depending on time, to the NBA. But I just want to make sure we give college basketball its time because, hey, newsflash, it's almost March, 3 more days. What do you like to play tonight here, Raphael?
Are you sure all the major forecasts are talking about mock draft 2.0? Give me a freaking break about NFL mock drafts. But yeah, my first one, I'm going to stay in the Crescent City. Yes, Griffin is finally gone, so the alcohol replenish is finally back up to normal. But I'm going to Charlotte and Tulane over 140.5. These two teams played on New Year's Eve at Charlotte, and Tulane scored 83 points and beat them 83-60. This is going to have a lot of points scored in this one because Charlotte's defense sucks. They're giving up 80 points per game, and Tulane is scoring 78.3 points a game. Going to see a lot of offense on this one. I like Tulane to roll in this one. Tulane's last 5 games, 4 of them have gone over the total, and 3 of them, they scored 81 points or more. I think we're going to see a lot of points scored in this one, and I think Tulane wins.
Yeah, it's going to take them. Maybe they didn't replenish that quickly, Raphael. I mean, these guys, they really, I'm sure, bottomed it out. So what do you like here, Griffin, as a free play now that you're like, sobered up a little bit?
I'm sobered up over here, Craig. And yeah, let's roll into this matchup. It's a prime game. I really like it. Michigan State at Maryland. Current line 4.5. Maryland's lane. We have a total sitting at 149.5. Michigan State coming off a massive outright in-state rivalry matchup against Michigan in their most recent matchup, ended up winning that game. But here's the kicker. They hit 41% from the perimeter. We talked about this last night on the show In the Paint, Ralph. Me, Scott Spreitzer, and Ralph talked about this game a little bit, but I wanted to get into this a little bit more. This team right now, they're going into Maryland. Maryland right now is 16-1 at home, and they have a defensive rating sitting at 14th in the nation. Michigan State, the only way I see them covering this spread is if they did exactly what they did against Michigan, which was bang 41% from the perimeter. I just don't see it happening whatsoever. I'm on Maryland in this matchup at home with the 16-1 record, laying the 4.5 points. Give me Maryland in this one, Craig.
I think this is kind of a glimpse of what Maryland possibly could do in the NCAA tournament because, they're going to get up against a team that's probably going to play them really good defense and not allow them to run up and down a little bit. And that worries me because I don't know if Maryland can grind it out, especially multiple games. Like you can do it one game. Anybody can. You can score a lot. You can score a little, make a little, 3-pointers, make a little. But that, like, eventually you return to the mean on averages. And I'm not sure this team can run up and down and just beat teams in the NCAA tournament. So I'm looking to see – I like Maryland tonight too, that they can win a game that it's not just them just overwhelming teams offensively. And that's what you really have to do. Tom Izzo, like, I know he's only won hasn't won a championship in 25 years, and they were the last Big Ten team. No, 23 years, right, Raphael? In 2002.
Yeah, 2002 is when they won it. So what?
And that was the
23
Mateen
years. Yeah.
So the team Cleaves year, and that's the last Big Ten title as well, by the way. But he's gotten 8, 9 seeds to the Final Four. This guy knows how to coach. I think he's going to take away that up and down game of Maryland, and I think Maryland will do it. But this is the night I want to see it, because that I think could pay. This is one that you need to watch so that you can predict how the NCAA tournament is going to go for Maryland. So
this is going to be interesting, because we could see a 5. DraftKings moved this to 4.5 about 25 minutes ago, and that's copy paste type of a game that some books would just move it to 4.5. And I think teasers and money lines will be coming in on a Terp, so we can maybe see a 5. I'm on the other side, guys. If I can get a 5, I might be go green, go white on this one.
Go, Ralph. Let's go to war, brother.
I think this is it's an interesting teaser. I think it'll get equal teaser action. I think there'll be some Michigan State people that say, hey, if I can get it at +9.5, you get Tom Izzo's going to keep it in single digits. And then I think there's some favorite teaser bettors that will say, hey, take Maryland. All they got to do is win on a 5-point teaser, if you have that 4.5 number. So I think you'll get equal action there as far as some teaser actions, which should be some middles. You could hit both of them. Both sides could actually hit it either way you play it. All right, let's see, Nick, why don't you go next? What do you like as a free play for today?
Let's do it. Let's stay in the Big Ten. We got Penn State and Indiana. Indiana is -5.5 in this one. The total is sitting at 149.5 right now. But this Penn State team has not played good whatsoever on the road. They're 2-7 right now this season on the road, and they are 3-7 in their last 10 games here. And look what Indiana did in their last home game against Purdue. They started off a little slow, but that second half, they dominated the paint. Get the ball inside with Purdue, which I know they will against this Penn State team that struggles defending big man in the paint. Give me Indiana here, -5.5 over Penn State. I think they blow them out here tonight, Craig.
Raphael, what do you think this line would have been, say, a week and a half ago when Mike Woodson stepped down before this little run that they've had, which, supposedly now, if you listen to Joe Lunardi and them, that they are actually one of the last teams in. They were been sitting on the outside for a little while now. I'm guessing this line would have been -1 or 2. They were playing terrible. Now they put this little run together. So you might see value on the other side because it's kind of an overbet team maybe.
Yeah, and money's been coming in on Indiana all day long, so I could see pop high on this one. I'm an Indiana side on this one, just because I want nothing to do with Penn State's. But I have a little team prop later that I'll announce in this one, so I can't wait to watch this game.
Penn State has won 2 in a row. So,
yes.
There's a little silver lining there for Penn State. It's not like they're kind of the upsetter. They're the upsetter. They're not winning the NCAA tournament. They're not winning the Big Ten tournament. But, hey, I think it's a team come to the Big Ten tournament. You got to keep an eye on that could beat a team. Raphael, what do you like as a free pick here for college hoops?
Well, I'm going for the same game. I like the Indiana Hoosiers team total under 77.5. Yes, they beat Purdue, but they only scored 73 points. This prop number has cashed 6 straight games. Indiana's only averaging 75 points a game. And Penn State's defense, that's the only thing they do well, is play good D. They're only holding opponents to 73 points a game. I don't see Indiana scoring 77 or 78 points in this one. They win, but it's going to be a low-scoring game, so I like the under in this one, team total.
Don't you think it's a big letdown spot, too, for Indiana? Because, you beat your rival, first of all. And now, you're taking Mike Woodson to what sounds like it's going to be another, he's going to go to NCAA tournament potentially on his way out the door as he's going to step away, resign at the end of the season. So I think it's a real big letdown spot for Indiana. So I could see where they actually are down at half or something and have to come battling back to get the win, which means a lower scoring game, because I can't see Penn State keeping it close unless it's lower scoring. I definitely think you're right on that one. All right. I like a little free play action. I'm going to another team that's now supposedly, if you listen to the talking heads, the Joe Lunardis of the world, Arkansas and all their talent, and Coach Calipari has battled their way back onto the right side of the bubble. And tonight they're only -3 against a Texas team that's 0-5 against the spread in their last 4, 1-4 straight up. A team that's just 3-5 on the road. I think, I know Coach Calipari. He's one of my least favorite, game coaches. He gets the talent there, but he just, there's a reason why he's only won 1 title. He has some of the greatest talent. Look at the NBA. It's full of Kentucky players and Memphis players that he coached, and they just underperform come big games. But I do think Arkansas at home is going to be a raucous environment. Give me Arkansas minus the points here. I do think they keep it rolling here. The talent levels for sure on Arkansas side, and they've started to at least put things together. It's a must win for Arkansas because if they lose this game, I think it could, snowball down the hill the other way, and then you end up on the outside looking in, especially in the SEC tournament where it's going to be tough to get a win in SEC tournament for these middle to bottom teams in the SEC. All right, let's look at. There's one game I had a question on. And it's because, anytime you fire a coach, so Griffin or Nick, if you guys don't have premium plays on this, one of you guys can answer this. Utah and Arizona tonight. Utah fires Craig Smith. I think this was his third season there. The line's 15 points. I see some money kind of driving this Arizona number, potentially even maybe a little higher. How do you guys feel when you get a team that Utah, they've played good at home. They just can't win on the road. Like, what's your opinion after you fire a coach? Do you kind of think they might rally or maybe they lay an egg here?
I'll jump into this. I'll tell you right away, when a team fires a coach, that's hands off automatically. That's a non-place wager for me. Immediate liability, too many confluences in play. There's too many situations that could go one way, another way. There's just too many situations, too many factors. It's an automatic layoff game for me. If I was to go into this matchup, obviously I'd be on Arizona in this game. But with the circumstances of everything going around with the firing of the coach, not dealing with this matchup, don't want anything to do with it, Craig. It's an automatic fade play for me.
1-7 against the spread on the road, this Utah team. So it's like, but because of that, and before they fire their coach, Raphael, don't you think this number probably, when I was doing my numbers, I was thinking 12.5 to 13.5 is where this game was going to show up. It showed up even higher. And I kind of thought Utah might rally the troops here after they fire their coach. And we've seen they can beat good teams. Like, I know those are at home, but don't you think this number is inflated because of those two reasons?
It is, but how mad is Arizona to lose to BYU in their last game? So they're pretty pissed off coming in this one. So I understand the alignment, and we'll see 16 because this is a late game, and everyone's going to know that Utah's fired their head coach. It's totally different. It's funny how I agree with Griffin. Too many variables. I don't want nothing to do with Utah. But Indiana, there's been some real big name rumors coming in. It's going to be the next Indiana head coach. I think that has a lot to do with the way they're playing because the rumors that could be the next Hoosier head coach. Who really wants to go to Utah and coach the Utes? So it's totally different. It's two different scenarios. But I'm on Arizona. I'm not betting them. The number's too high. But I think Arizona puts a double-digit butt whooping tonight.
I don't understand why they don't do what they did to Mike Woodson, which is like, hey, announce your resignation. We'll go ahead and pay you your buyout, like it's due. Go ahead and coach the team rest of the season. We're going to go start. You have to announce it now, and we're going to do a national search that will be ahead of the game, which is why I think they forced Woodson to do it so that they can get the first swing at all these coaches.
I agree.
But just firing a coach, I don't understand it. You got 2-3 weeks left. Just let them. It's not like you're firing the whole staff and bring someone else in. You're just putting the next assistant up as the head coach. So to me, I wish they would have did it I wish teams would do that, both in college football and in the NBA and in college basketball. So I do think somehow Utah gets credit. I am also interested, Rafa, you have any opinion on this? I was a little shocked that St. John's is this big a favorite on the road at Butler. I know they've been good, but it's not like St. John's just murders teams. They grind it out on defense, and it just seems like maybe this is getting a little out of hand. I thought this should be more like 6.5, and I was kind of thinking taking Butler here. Any opinion on this, what this line is?
Yeah, it was funny. I was talking to my buddy over at Caesars, who's one of the head traders, and we were talking about St. John's, and they're the big flavor Kool-Aid of the month in college basketball. You have to put a high number because you're just going to get flooded of teasers and money lines and parlays all on them. So you have to actually add probably a good solid 2 more points to the number you think it's going to be because you're just going to get flooded of St. John's money in there. So yes, the number is inflated. I like Butler as well if the number keeps on climbing up because it will keep on climbing up. I don't see any wise guys going to jump on Butler in this game. So I'm waiting for a better number for Butler.
It's kind of funny. I was watching New Mexico last night. Of course, that's where Rick Pitino's son was. Yep. And they lost. I like San Diego State. I think we gave it out yesterday as a free play, and they did cover and looked really good. But it could be Pitino as both of them win their Coach of the Year in their conference because Pitino's done a great job at New Mexico. Remember, they lost Mashburn to Temple, I believe it was. Yep. He transferred to Temple. Their other leading scorer they lost. The Toppin kid went to Texas Tech. So, I mean, they got 2 kids that are leading 2 other teams, and that should be there. And you look at it, and they're potentially going to win the Mountain West. So, and Rick Pitino's done an absolute, I mean, it's exactly what we expect. Everywhere he's ever gone, he's won. He's never, ever didn't turn it around. I'm interested to see if he wins out. I know that the Big East is a little down this year. Could he end up, as a 1 seed? Because the SEC teams are going to beat each other. So, like the 3 potential SEC teams that you think have a chance to get 2 spots, what if they all beat each other here? What if Alabama goes to Auburn and wins? Now they've split. It's like
Houston will have to lose. Houston will have to lose for St. John's to bump up and get a 1. I agree. SEC beats up with each other, but if one in Alabama still, I can't believe they're still scheduled as a number 1 team, even though they're probably going to lose to Tennessee over the weekend at Tennessee. I think Houston jumps up.
Auburn too.
Yeah, I think Houston jumps up and grabs a number 1.
Oh, I think at this point you say Duke is an absolute lock to be a number 1 because the ACC is so bad. I just can't see them losing. Although they do play North Carolina this weekend, right? I do think that's at least, rivalry maybe. But I don't see any team beating them. Maybe Louisville will give them something in the conference tournament. But if they win out, I kind of think Auburn, no matter what happens, I think Auburn kind of deserves it. They won at Houston early in the year. If Houston wins out, they'll probably get it. And then it's a free-for-all because then it's like, Alabama, Tennessee, A&M, Florida, all these teams are going to play each other. And probably, and if Auburn wins out, then can a team like St. John sneak in and get that last number 1 seed? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. All right, let's move. We got about 5 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left. Griffin is our NHL extraordinaire. Hold on. I got the Matrix cup. This is a Subway cup, but since I'm in the green screen, it looks like I'm drinking out of the Matrix cup. He is the Matrix when it comes to NHL betting picks. Tell us what you like as a free play. Just 3 plays tonight in the NHL card, so not much to choose from. So just give us a little hidden gem here.
Hit him with it.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a hidden gem, a little needle in the haystack, so to speak. We got the Vancouver Canucks and the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings minus 185. You're out of your mind if you think we're taking the Kings here. While the Los Angeles Kings are on a 2-game winning streak, the Vancouver Canucks, they're on a 2-game losing streak. Reverse psychology here, ladies and gentlemen. As the Vancouver Canucks play their best hockey on the road, they have 15 wins already this season. The Kings, they've been winning here, but we're taking the Vancouver Canucks at odds of plus 155, ladies and gentlemen, to beat the Los Angeles Kings where they play their best hockey. I believe they're 18-2 here. I like the Vancouver Canucks to upset here the Los Angeles Kings, Craig.
I also thought, just a quick opinion here, I think another underdog, I think Ottawa's a live dog today at home. I don't know. This Winnipeg team, I think, is not quite as good as what these odds suggest. I think Ottawa can win this game. I thought it would be closer to pick. I thought it'd be like plus 105 or something. Maybe not enough juice for me on the, after the bite of the apple. But I think there's a little juice left. You think they have a shot here?
I like the Vancouver play a little bit better than the Ottawa, just because Ottawa just has not been scoring on the offensive side, especially if Halibuck's in net for Winnipeg. This guy is not giving up more than 2 goals all season. I think he's averaging 2.11 goals here per game, which is phenomenal. The best in the NHL. He's in the net. So Halibuck's in the net. I don't think Ottawa is going to be, a dog favorite here tonight, so to speak. So I would lay off that game. If anything, I would take Winnipeg on the puck line here tonight.
What's Winnipeg? I know they've won 10 in a row at least, but it's longer than that, right?
Or no, it is 10. It's exactly 10.
Yeah, so it's 10. So I always think when I get to that double-digit number on teams on streaks, that's when I'm willing to take to make the stand on the other way because these guys aren't going to win forever, and they've played a lot of little close games. So it's all of a sudden,
Jose.
Especially,
San Jose.
Plus 400.
Yeah. So, if San Jose almost won at, what was it, plus 408 or something, when, we were looking at it the other day on, I guess it was Monday.
After. You're like, San Jose almost got it done.
All right, so let's take care of some business on the way out the door here. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and don't forget, get in that free $60 account. So the free $60 account for all new customers, of course, if you've used it already, you just go to the grid and you can get it on a place. It's $30 per sport for any one capper you want, or $99 for a week. We do have some good long-term passes. It's $299 for all the way through the college basketball finals, and that will include NIT, any of the other postseason tournaments that we might have plays on, or $399 in the NBA all the way through the NBA Finals. And guess what? That's through June. So you're getting like 4 months of plays, or 3 months and 3 weeks worth of plays, depending on how long it goes. And then NHL is 375 through the NHL Finals. So make sure you check that out. All you got to do is go to your favorite capper, click it, and then you can use this free 60 towards that, or just use it to get a day pass, and you won't have to pay anything. So, all right, guys, have a great Wednesday. We'll be back again on Thursday with tomorrow. Don't forget the three amigos will be with Robert Ferrigno both Thursday and Friday, and Raphael will be back with us next Wednesday. So good luck to everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.